Alrighty guys, welcome to your fifth video, and in this video what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting to create our registration page. Now the registration page is usually the first page that the user goes to whenever they want to use the site. It's the page that allows them to create their account, choose their username, choose their password, and it pretty much allows them to, like I said, create their account because they need to create an account before they can add items and trade items, make offers, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and make that first. Well, technically we already made index, but I wouldn't consider this a page yet. So go ahead and create a new file, and the first thing that we want to do is we just want to go ahead and include the code to connect to our database. So let's go ahead and do that right now. If I could move my cursor in the right place, PHP, and well, actually we might as well go ahead and save this. Save as, and I'm just going to name this register.php. And to save it in the same directory as your index, go ahead and hit save. Now, like I said, the very first thing we want to do is we want to include the code to connect to the database. But actually, before I even begin with that, I want to add one line of code, and that's session underscore start. Now, I know I didn't talk to you guys about sessions, and I'm going to talk about sessions more whenever I make the login script. But what a session is it's basically a temporary, well, session basically. And the reason we want to make this is whenever the user logs in, we're going to give them an identification. It's pretty much a variable that sticks with that user. Now, this is pretty much testing, is the user logged in or logged out. If they already are on a session, that means that the user is logged in. So if a user is logged in, then there's no reason they would be going to this register page. You don't need to register if you're already logged into your account. So later on when we test if the user's logged in or not, then we already have that session started, and we can say something like, if the user's logged in already, then just take them to their account page. But for now, I'm just going to include that so I don't forget it later on. And if all that confused you guys, then just pretend I didn't say anything, and you'll understand later on. But now, like I said, what we want to do is we want to include that connection file to connect to the database. And the reason for that is whenever they choose their username and password, their username and email, what we want to do is we want to query the database and make sure no one else has that username or email yet. If they do, then they can't take it from them. You can't have two people with the same username. So that's why we are including this connection file at all. So in order to include a file, just go ahead and type include, which is a built-in function, and go ahead and type the name of your file. Now remember, first of all, this connection file is in a different directory, so we need to go ahead and put the full path. Include forward slash, actually I think I name it includes. Let me make sure. File, yep, includes forward slash connect.php. Now what this line of code is going to do is it's pretty much going to take all of the code from that connection file and place it right here. Pretty much we are now connected to our database. So that's all the PHP I'm going to write for right now. Now it's time to jump in and start coding the HTML. So in order to start coding the HTML, what I'm going to do is keep moving my freaking cursor around. Start with the doc type. Now, like I said, this is going to be HTML5, so in case you guys are like, where's the big HTML declaration? That's old school. We aren't doing that anymore. So, but HTML lang equals en. And as far as HTML and CSS goes, I'm going to be moving kind of quickly because I assume that you guys already watched my HTML5 and CSS3 tutorials. If you didn't, go do that and you guys will understand what all this crap is right here. And now what I want to do is build my head and body. So head. And by the way, I just want to preface all of my code with saying this. The very first time, this very first registration webpage, it's going to go kind of slow because I'm going to be taking guys through all my HTML code and also my CSS code. And this first web page is definitely going to be the longest because it's going to be like the template. Once we build this registration page, then we can just copy all this and paste it and change the things we need, and it's going to be like 5 times faster. But for this first one, I got to take you guys through all the boring crap like title, title, make sure to end that baby right there. And for this, I'm just gonna register, and might as well go ahead and make the body right now so I don't forget. Not Vadi, that's what they call it in Russia or somewhere. J's the Vadi. And body. And inside this body, I'm going to be putting 3 main things. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a div, and I'm going to be giving it the ID of rapper. Now, not rapper like Lil Wayne, WRAPPER. This is pretty much going to surround all of the code, or most of it. The wrapper is basically going to be responsible for centering the web page. So all of the HTML code we're going to put inside here. Now, the main structure for our website on every pretty much web page is we're going to have something to the left and something to the right. If you see on this main search page, we have something to the left and something to the right. Whenever we search for items, something to the left, something to the right. So that's pretty much going to be our basic structure, although later on when we need a specific page like view item, we can overwrite that if we want to. But for now, I'm going to be putting aside, and I'm going to be giving this the ID equal to left underscore side, and just go ahead and end that right there. And on the registration page, what this is going to be is this picture right here. And on the right hand side, I'm just going to be, instead of an aside, this is the main section, and ID equals right underscore side, and this section is going to end right there. So basically, the main wrapper is just going to make sure our web page is centered. The left side is just going to be the picture, and the right side is going to be the registration form, as you see right there. So now what we have left to do is, if we uploaded this web page right now, it would look like the dumbest blank web page ever, but it would have a nice title. So in the next tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you guys through all of the CSS that we need to make our website look pretty. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be spicing things up, making it look beautiful.